Hallihallo meine Freunde und willkommen zurück in einer weiteren Folge Genshin Impact. Yeah. So, in der letzten Folge haben wir ja zwei neue Bilder gemacht, also geschafft. Und wir sind jetzt bei dem letzten Teil der Story von dem Fest, so gesehen. Also von der Hauptstory. Ich muss jetzt nochmal kurz nochmal die Zeit einchecken. 12 Uhr, okay. Am nächsten Tag würde ich sagen. Damit es auch direkt erledigt ist. Ich bin gespannt, was alles auf uns zukommen wird. Jetzt beginnt der letzte Akt von dem Teil. Und ja, es gibt ja noch diese anderen drei Stories, die blau sind, aber da reden auch die Figuren miteinander. Das heißt, das werden wir auch machen. Die erste davon haben wir. Die ersten davon haben wir ja schon rausgefunden, haben wir schon fertig gemacht. Das waren ja Klee und Yumiya. Ich bin gespannt, was die anderen drei sind, aber das erfahren wir in den nächsten Folgen. Na dann, let's go. Was es da wohl sein wird.
Ah, you're here. It appears everyone has arrived. Last night, I visited a former servant who once worked for my family. I was able to learn the entirety of what happened all those years ago. In my great-grandfather's generation, the Ishin art was tasked with forging an important Goshinto according to an ancient forging diagram. Though all the craftsmen involved were very experienced, the process was still unsuccessful. Every blade that was forged was defective. When the deadline came, the blade still wasn't finished, so the craftsmen all fled and hid for fear of punishment. The Kaidahara clan and Yashiro Commission then conducted an investigation. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan eventually tracked down the craftsmen near the seaside. However, they met fierce resistance from the craftsmen, and in the end they were unable to prevent them from escaping by sea. The Kaidahara clan was severely punished for the swordsmiths that had escaped, and the family gradually fell into decline. Moreover, I heard that the head of the Kamisato clan was injured by the fleeing swordsmiths, which combined with his advanced age caused him to pass away shortly thereafter.
Yes. The sudden passing of the family head left the Kamisato clan leaderless. Treacherous people took advantage of the situation and put the family's status in the Yashiro Commission at jeopardy. This single incident had profound effects. Even after the position as head of the clan was passed to my father, the Kamisato clan still wasn't able to regain its prior reputation. But, thanks to my brother, everything is getting better now.
The failure to forge the blade was ultimately attributed to a lack of required skill and finesse. The Kaidahara clan and the Yashiro Commission always believed that was the case. However, the story of the five Kasen seems to imply that the failure didn't stem from a lack of skill, but rather, the diagram had been tampered with by someone. Miss Kamisato, I heard yesterday that the Yashiro Commission has still kept the diagram ever since the failed forging all those years ago. Might I ask you to do me a favor?
Yes, I understand. I will go back and search for the diagram. Please come meet me at the Kamisato estate later.
Der schwarz gefärbte Palast. What? Aber Leute, das ist interessant. Das heißt im Klartext, das ist jetzt zum Beispiel, was ich sehr interessant finde, ist, in jedem dieser Bilder, wo die Figuren mit drauf sind, gehören mit der Story dazu. Das heißt, wir werden jetzt mit denen zusammen was machen. Aber was ich sehr komisch finde, ist, man sieht ja hier Ayato. Also Ayakas Bruder halt so, ne? Man hat ihn nur am Anfang gesehen und das war's. Jetzt sieht man ihn nicht mehr. Aber jetzt verstehe ich natürlich, warum Albedo auch mit da drauf war in Inazuma, weil der war vom Anfang an mit dabei die ganze Zeit. Er war der erste Gast, alles andere. Und der ist mit der Story die ganze Zeit mit dabei. Ja, jetzt bin ich so, gibt auf jeden Fall jetzt auch Sinn. Tatsächlich. Das gibt jetzt tatsächlich auch Sinn. Aber ich muss schon sagen, das Fest ist nicht übel, nicht übel. Es macht auf jeden Fall richtig Laune. Ich bin sowieso gespannt, was jetzt noch alles hier in diesem Akt passieren wird. Und wir haben ja noch die hier auch noch offen, die 3. Also nach denen hier haben wir das hier offen. Das letzte. Ja, Leute, und dann schließt das Gedicht zum Thema Abschied ab. Ich frage mich gerade, was das hier alles sein soll hier, ne? Wir haben davon noch alles 0. Oh. Sind das die Events hier? Oh, meine Freunde. Guck mal, das ist noch alles hier von der großen Kluft hier. Man merkt auf jeden Fall, ich habe noch echt jetzt einiges zu tun tatsächlich. Wo sind die denn alle? Hä? Ah. Wo? Nur sie? Okay.
Everyone, I've managed to find the old diagram.
Though the diagram is well preserved, you can still tell that it's seen at least 3 or 4 centuries of history.
Whoa, that's pretty old. Is it still possible to find any evidence of tampering?
At this point, we can only try our luck and see how we fare.
Oh. Ja, sieht aus wie ein Schwert.
Although the effect is not too obvious, you can still see that some words have now started to smudge. Kazuha, this is clear evidence that this chart was indeed tampered with. Someone framed the Kaedehara clan all those years ago.
I see. But I fear that I've discovered this secret too late. When my grandfather was young, he proposed reviving the Ishin art many times to my great-grandfather. But my grandfather was only scolded for being too foolhardy. Yesterday, the former family servant said that my great-grandfather even went to the Yashiro Commission to request that diagram from the head of the Kamisato clan. He then showed that diagram to my grandfather and asked him and his subordinates to try to forge the sword. Sure enough, my grandfather also failed. My great-grandfather then told him, if you can't find the secret within, then the Ishin art deserves to fade from the world. My grandfather left Inazuma in a rage after hearing those words. He didn't ever see my great-grandfather again, even till the day of his passing. Looking back at it now, the argument between the two of them was simply meaningless.
Oh, Kazuha.
I heard that your great-grandfather was very industrious when he was young, but later in life, he no longer bothered with the forging arts. It appears that his failure took quite a toll on him.
Kazuha, did your great-grandfather really say, if you can't find the secret within? Did he use those exact words?
Yes. The servant said that he personally heard those words, and still remembers them very clearly. My grandfather was so angry at the time that he smashed my great-grandfather's cherished bonsai tree.
Yes, it appears that you understand my meaning. Kazuha, if your great-grandfather thought that the Ishin art lacked finesse, then after witnessing his son's failure, wouldn't he have said something more along the lines of, your skills aren't sufficient? But instead he said, if you can't find the secret within. Don't you find that a little strange?
Huh? Oh. So you're saying my great-grandfather may have very well known that the failure was due to someone's tampering?
Yes. The current evidence suggests that is highly likely.
I apologize, but would you all please accompany me to the Tenryou Commission? After I became a wanted criminal, the Tenryou Commission seized my family's last remaining estate, which contained all of my family's old belongings. I want to inquire about the whereabouts of those belongings. If I can find them, we might be able to get some clues.
All right, let's get moving.
Okay, Leute. Alter Schmiedplan. Na dann. Wir haben ja auch da sehr guten Draht eigentlich zu ihnen. Zu den zweiten Sohn, glaube ich, ist das. Ach, Leute, die Statue. Da haben wir zum ersten Mal Raiden gesehen. Wird immer interessanter.
What are you all doing here? Did something happen on Rito?
Kujo Sara. Perhaps you still remember me.
Yes, I do. You're Kaedehara Kazuha, a wanted criminal during the Vision Hunt decree. However, your arrest warrant has since been repealed.
Sarah, we'd like to ask about the Kaedehara clan's property that was seized by the Tenryou Commission. Do you know where all their belongings are now?
Yes, the items seized at that time are currently stored in the warehouse next to the police station. Since Kaedehara has come back to Inazuma, those items should be returned to their rightful owner.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand. I'm not here to reclaim those belongings. I just want to investigate them for a personal matter.
I see. All right, I'll inform the police station. They'll take you into the warehouse.
Thank you, Sarah!
Kaedehara, about the Vision Hunt decree.
That's all in the past now, Kujo Sara. There's no need to mention it again. I know you've also had your own convictions and struggles. However, may I ask something of you?
Oh.
Yes? What is it?
Currently, I have no plans to stay in Inazuma. As a result, those items from my family's estate are of no use to me. Madam Kujo, I believe you are a person of integrity. After our investigation is over, I'd like to ask if you can handle those belongings for me. Please, sell them, and use the money to help the poor.
All right, I understand. I'll be sure to take care of it.
Ja, Leute, Kujo Server. Hallo da.
Shine down!
Haha, sind wir noch so komisch, ey. Okay, let's go, Leute. Okay, Kazuha hat auf jeden Fall hat das Herz einen rechten Fleck. Tatsächlich. So, meine Freunde, dann machen wir uns mal weiter auf den Weg. Denke ich nicht weit. Sind wir ja gleich da. War hier das Gefängnis? Oder war das woanders? Ich weiß es gar nicht mehr, Leute.
You must be here to investigate the Kaedehara clan's belongings. Well, Madame Kujo's already informed me of the situation. Please, come this way.
Okay. Also ich glaube, das ist dann doch nicht, Leute. Aber irgendwo anders war das Gefängnis. Irgendwo anders.
The Kaedehara clan's belongings are stored in this warehouse. Unfortunately, the items are scattered throughout in order to save space. My deepest apologies. However, I have clearly marked the corresponding items, so they shouldn't be too difficult to find. I'll be waiting for you at the door. Please, come see me if you require any assistance.
Kazuha, since the items are scattered throughout the building, I propose we split up and look for clues.
Yes, sounds like a plan. Thanks for your help, everyone.
No. Sie sind jetzt alle da verstreut, Leute. Läuft. Ladies first.
Oh, it's you. I'm currently investigating the sword rack.
Oh, since the Kaedehara clan was a family of renowned swordsmiths, then this blade should be super valuable, right? Maybe it's a treasure of the Ishin art!
I'm afraid not. Although the sword rack is made of fine wood, the swords placed here appear to be quite ordinary. Due to the dire financial situation of the late Kaedehara clan, everything of value has probably been sold off already. The blade on the sword hasn't been sharpened, but there are many signs of use on the hilt. Perhaps Kaedehara used it for training as a child.
Let Paimon see! Oh, there seems to be a couple uneven characters etched into the scabbard. Kazu... Ha. Wow, so it really was Kazuha's! Paimon can imagine what Kazuha was like as a kid.
I will continue investigating here and call you if I find anything interesting.
Na dann.
Oh, it's you. Unfortunately, I have yet to find anything of value here.
Whoa, this folding screen looks pretty old though.
Yes, perhaps if it were better maintained, then it could fetch a decent price. However, I doubt it could be sold in its current condition. I was taking a closer look just now and noticed a large piece of dirt caught in the fabric fibers on the back side. The soil is deeply embedded into the cloth. That means a great deal of force was used when the dirt was lodged into the cloth. It's likely that this patch of dirt is from the very flower pot thrown by Kazuha's grandfather. Because this is not what we are looking for now. Let me think. If I wanted to leave a message behind, I would probably choose to leave it on something a little more special.
Albedo seems to be thinking pretty hard. We better not bother him.
Muss aber auch, es ist immer wieder wiederholen, Leute. Einfach Liyue, Inazuma und Mondstadt. Einfach ein Twisting. Aber von Liyue ist es nur einer.
Fine, Shinjo.
I found quite the pile of old books. These books here are all related to smelting steel, and these are about the process of forging blades. This pile over here is all about plants and flowers.
The books about plants and flowers must have belonged to Kazuha's great-grandfather.
I skimmed through them just now, but I didn't find anything particularly worth noting. I shall take a closer look and let you know if I find anything.
Alles klar. Und Venti ist der Letzte. Unser guter alter Freund Venti. Mit ihm hat er unsere erste Story ja angefangen. Er war, wenn man darüber nachdenkt, Leute, ist mir auch gerade so eingefallen, Venti war der allererste Charakter, den wir gesehen haben. Es war zwar mit Divollen, mit den Drachen, aber er war der allererste Charakter, den wir gesehen haben in Genshin. Danach kam er Ember. Ja, und dann hat sich das alles so ergeben. Er ist aber irgendwie krass, er war der allererste.
There must be some around here somewhere. Do you see all these pots here? Some of them are bound to have liquor inside, right?
Hey! Everyone else is trying hard to help, and you're over here looking for a drink?
I merely jest, of course. Come on, we're close to uncovering the truth now. Why do you look so worried?
Well, Paimon doesn't really get why Kazuha told Sara to sell all these belongings. What if we don't end up finding anything today? Then wouldn't Kazuha lose the chance of finding out what really happened all those years ago? You know, just saying.
I know you are worried about Kazuha, but if you ask me, he is stronger than you think. Since Kazuha made such a request to Sara, that indicates he's already made his choice. Whether we find out the truth or not today, or whatever it turns out to be, he's ready to accept it. No, not intuition. Rather, I've lived for a long time now, so you could say I have some experience in reading people. Leave the things here to me. You two can look around elsewhere.
Everyone, I've found something that you should all have a look at.
Oh, seems Kazuha discovered something. Let's go see what he's got.
Let's go.
This flower pot was in my house for a long time. I heard that it was left behind by my great-grandfather.
Yeah, the plants seem to have been dead for a while now.
Well, after my great-grandfather stopped studying the forging arts, he picked up the hobby of keeping bonsai plants. Most of his prized plants were given to others once he became seriously ill. But he specifically left behind this dead plant at the time, and even instructed my grandfather not to throw it away in his will. My grandfather deeply regretted that he never managed to reconcile with my great-grandfather, so he left the plant exactly as it was. But now that I think about it, my great-grandfather could very well have left it behind for other reasons.
Now that you mention it, this flower pot is kinda suspicious.
Yes. Let's take a closer look, shall we?
We finally found something! Huh? It's only a bunch of blank paper. Do you think someone already discovered the compartment and swapped the contents?
No, I do not think that is the case here. See the paper? It's quite yellowed, which means it's very old.
You mean to say that these sheets have been written with special ink, like that which Miss Kamisato found before?
Yes, I agree with this hypothesis.
Okay, let's give it a dunk then.
There is a pond outside the police station. I'll use the water there.
Leute, aber ganz kurz, bevor wir weitermachen. Es gab doch im zweiten Akt am Ende diese Person, wo man die Beine gesehen hat mit der Katze. Wer war das denn eigentlich überhaupt? Sieht man das eigentlich noch, wer das war, oder? Ich weiß es nicht.
Well, how did it go? Those weren't just plain old sheets of paper, were they?
Just as everyone guessed, after I sprinkled some water onto the paper, writing did indeed begin to appear on it. It is a letter, written by my great-grandfather.
Oh? What does the letter say?
It is. I'll tell you what my great-grandfather knew at the time, but before that, I wish to take you somewhere. Everyone, please follow me.
Okay. Wo müssen wir hin? Okay, das ist ein bisschen weit weg. Scheinbar will er ganz weit weg von Leuten sein. Also es ist irgendwas Geheimnisvolles auf jeden Fall. Bin ich gespannt. Dann wollen wir mal. Das schöne Inazuma, Leute. Das wird so komisch sein. Wir haben ja schon 2.6 jetzt schon erreicht. Es kommt ja wahrscheinlich auch 2.7 bald raus. Und dann ist halt die Frage, ob jetzt noch 2.8 und 9 auftauchen werden. Das ist jetzt auch noch die Frage, ne? Und schon bald werden wir dann, wenn 3.0 kommen wird, meine Freunde, Inazuma nicht mehr so schnell wiedersehen, weil das war's dann auch. Weil wir sind dann in einem anderen Land.
Kaedehara, why did you lead us to this beach?
It is. In fact, my great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan tracked the fleeing swordsmiths to this very location. Our hypothesis was correct. My great-grandfather was well aware of the truth behind the defective blades. And it was right here where they encountered the culprit who framed the Kaedehara clan and the Raiden Gokaden. It reads, "To whoever reads this letter, I, Kaedehara Yoshinori, have been held to a certain secret throughout my entire life. I don't have much longer in this world, and after much consideration, I finally decided to disclose the matter. All those years ago, when I was pursuing the swordsmiths alongside Commissioner Kamisato of the Yashiro Commission, I was not injured by one of the fleeing smiths. Rather,
It was night, and after the clues led us down to shore, I waited for the culprits to show themselves. However, there were no swordsmiths in sight, only a single eccentric stranger. This stranger claimed to be the one behind the failed forgings, and said that he had been patiently waiting for us. He then threatened to destroy the Raiden Gokaden. That person was of able body, and in a blink of an eye, myself and the accompanying samurai had been defeated. Commissioner Kamisato was severely wounded, and I barely escaped death myself. My hat had fortunately blunted a blow to my head. The unusual stranger could have easily claimed my life at that moment. But, after noticing my appearance, he stopped his attacks and sternly asked if I had any connection with the name Niwa. I answered that it was my father's surname, and after my father disappeared, I was adopted by the Kaedehara family. Upon hearing my answer, the stranger paused. After a long silence, he suddenly said, "Tell her this. My name is Kuni Kuzushi." He then turned and left.
What?
Wow. So that's what really happened.
Yes. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan escaped from death and learned that the forging diagram had been tampered with by Kuni Kuzushi. However, due to the encounter, the head of the Kamisato clan was worried that my great-grandfather would be falsely accused of being involved with the perpetrator. So even on his deathbed, the master of the Kamisato clan cautioned my great-grandfather to never speak of what happened. Because the perpetrator said he would destroy the Raiden Gokaden. My great-grandfather worried that the perpetrator would still return for vengeance. So, to protect his loved ones, he closed the family business. He said, "As the leader of the Kaedehara clan, I am deeply ashamed to witness the decline of the Ishin art. But as a father, it is my priority to ensure the safety of my children and grandchildren." Yes, that's right. If my grandpa had somehow discovered the secret behind the tampered diagram all those years ago, perhaps my great-grandfather would have told him the truth. Unfortunately, he failed to catch any of the hints in my great-grandfather's words. Miss Kamisato, it appears you were unaware of the happenings that my great-grandfather described here. What are your thoughts?
I suppose the reason the head of the Kamisato house never spoke of this to the family was due to similar safety concerns. If the perpetrator was capable of tampering with even the Shogun's diagrams, and could single-handedly defeat many men, then he is not an ordinary enemy. I will discuss this matter with Brother shortly, and investigate the identity behind the one called Kuni Kuzushi. Rest assured, we will act cautiously.
To be honest, as I read the letter, I felt much turbulence in my heart. But now I've managed to calm myself. My great-grandfather said in the letter that he did not wish his descendants to blindly seek revenge and be deceived by things of the past. Though he was in a tight situation when he wrote these words, I feel like they are still valid nonetheless. I think what's most important for each person is not the past, but the present. Even though we must carry the burdens from the past, there are also things we wish to strive for. Therefore, knowing the truth behind what happened is enough for me. I will live on just as my great-grandfather had hoped. That being said, if the enemy from all those years ago is still lurking and plotting to stir up more trouble, then I definitely won't turn a blind eye. These are simply insights I've gathered from all that I've experienced. Thank you all for accompanying me in my search for the truth behind that incident.
Great! Now that we're done here, let's head back to Rito.
Interessante Story, meine Freunde. Hm? Die wahre Form der 5 Freunden. Was? Oder habe ich gerade Freunden? Die wahre Form der 5 Freunden? Was stand da? Die wahre Form der 5 Farben. Oh Gott, ich komme mit Freunden. Ja, geil. Geil.
Today is the final stage of the Iridori Festival. Not only will there be Shincho's signing event, but Albedo's painting of Kuranushi will also be unveiled. Let's take a stroll through the festival venue. Maybe we'll find everyone there.
Bin ich gespannt.
Hello, traveler. Paimon?
Albedo, why is the portrait of Kuranushi all covered up? Paimon wants to see what your Kuranushi portrait looks like.
Don't worry. The unveiling ceremony will be starting shortly. You'll see what it looks like then. I will say that I'm most satisfied with this particular work. I even made a special trip to see someone in order to complete it. They gave me some very valuable suggestions. Is that so? Anyway, there is still time before the ceremony. You may have a look around the venue first.
Okay. Okay, meine Freunde, wie es scheint, geht's weiter. Es ist aber noch nicht zu Ende, dieser Akt. Komisch, komisch. Hm? Dieses Bild ist extra nicht drauf. Aber man kriegt es als Geschenk, das ist ja interessant. Ja, meine Freunde, da würde ich sagen, machen wir erstmal für heute Schluss und sehen uns in der nächsten Folge. Ich dachte, das wäre es zu Ende, aber scheinbar doch nicht. Es geht noch ein bisschen weiter. Na dann, sehen wir uns in der nächsten Folge. Euer Marschu, bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschaußen.